iDubbbz is a YouTuber that definitely does not need any introduction. Many years ago, he did the Content Cop series, which he actually brought back recently to do a video on H3 about. And because I'm a certified old head, I remember whenever a Content Cop video was going to come out, it was an event. If you were unemployed or under the age of 30, this was a huge event for you. But one of the side projects that iDubbbz runs with his wife Anissa, Creator Clash, seems to be a bit of a bizarre situation, which could be crazy / insane. But by the look of it, iDubbbz and Anissa have actually relinquished all control of the event. Now, Creator Clash did start off with some pretty noble intentions. I mean, there's YouTube drama everywhere. There's usually something happening every week. But what if you can go into the boxing ring and then actually punch someone you didn't like in the nose? Now, Creator Clash was a streaming event where basically YouTubers would go ahead and box each other, mostly in the name for charity. And you've had a lot of personalities here: Jack Manifold, Matt Watson, Michael Reeves, Odds One Out. So this is like a huge different facet of different YouTubers from different communities. You also had iDubbbz, who was part of the boxing match as well, making such amazing videos like, can I survive a wildfire by hiding in a bath? Really asking the hard-hitting questions there about human survival. Whoa! So the first Creator Clash was all the way back in 2022, which was 3 years ago. We are all racing to the grave. And that initial Creator Clash saw an actual viewership of over 100,000 people. And that was all paying viewers. And then probably 500,000 people that were pirating it. But on top of that as well, they sold out an entire boxing arena. This was a huge event, and it's shown that YouTubers can actually pull in the attention that mainstream media can as well. Now, pay-per-view tickets for Creator Clash at the minute are around £31. So you can imagine that some serious cash was made from this event. Now, the entire event initially was ran by iDubbbz and his wife Anissa. So it was basically an in-house production. Now, there obviously was help from outsider companies. So it's not like it was just these two people running the entire event themselves. But one of the reasons why this event was able to get so much attention and also get so many high-profile names is because iDubbbz has had a status as a huge YouTube content creator for basically 10 years now. It was an event that was made for creators by creators, and a lot of people really liked that idea. This is something that felt more personal. It was more above and beyond than, let's say, Logan Paul, KSI staged boxing event number 352, and then they team up to do basically an energy drink. And on top of that as well, Creator Clash was labeled as a charity event. So the profits from you buying a ticket would be going to charity. So even if the person you didn't like won, you'd at least feel good about yourself helping charity out. Now, I did rib on Logan Paul and KSI, but Creator Clash was most likely inspired by them because they were basically the first YouTubers to create an event that was televised. Now, the next statement I'm going to say is probably going to get KSI to deploy a hitman to come and kill me. But what a lot of people seem to forget is Logan and KSI were not the people to actually pioneer YouTube boxing. If anything, it was probably Joe Weller. There's a video that's over 7 years old now of Joe Weller and his friend Theo Baker having a boxing match. This obviously spun out from Joe Weller fighting Theo Baker to KSI having beef with Joe Weller. They had a boxing match. Joe Weller lost. And then KSI moved up to Logan Paul. Now, even though the first Creator Clash was a success, there was a follow-up Creator Clash 2, and that was nowhere near as financially successful, actually losing them $250,000. And they were also unable to raise any money for the 14 charities that the creators were fighting for.
The way that this typically works for anyone who's unaware is that once our expenses are paid off for the event, like all the minimums of broadcasting, the hotel, travel, all that sort of stuff, once that's all paid off, then we can start paying the charities. Unfortunately, we didn't even reach the break-even point.
iDubbbz said one of the reasons behind this is because he was paying for more creators to come and fight. That was basically more travel costs, more hotel bills, and more training, because if you fought in the event, all of your expenses were basically paid for. And also as well, a lot of people were pirating the show. I swear, the difference between something being free and something being a literal penny or cent will eliminate 99% of people that would ever interact with that content. That's why, most games now that are successful, they're free to play, and they just pump you full of ads or microtransactions. But iDubbbz did try to make up for this by basically doing an impromptu charity live stream on his own accord.
Because we lost so much money on the second event, we weren't able to deliver to the charities. So we did this impromptu charity stream where I was squirting ketchup down my throat for Philip DeFranco.
Oh, Philly donated 1.1K for throat chop.
I do want to say about the piracy stuff, it is a really common thing, but one thing it does remind me of, going back to KSI again, I remember he did this video years ago, basically asking people to stop pirating his movie, because he did a movie with Casper Lee. You might remember on the main channel, I talked about it. I think it was called Made in America or something like that. And he basically made a video crying, telling everyone to stop pirating the movie, despite the fact that when he has opened his editing software before, it's pirated, and his Windows in the corner, it's not activated, it's pirated. Like, I get it, this was before the Prime money, before the boxing money, but the guy definitely still had a couple mil in his bank back then.
Stop pirating the fucking movie! Like, why the fuck are you tweeting me this, huh? Tell me where you live so I can find you and piss on you.
Now, we've had Creator Clash 1, success. Creator Clash 2, not so much. Creator Clash 3, that hasn't even came out yet, and there are a lot of problems going on with it. So there's an official Creator Clash YouTube channel, and they ended up putting a video out saying, let's talk about Creator Clash 3. And here they try to address a lot of the criticism that was brought up against them and try to dispel as much of it as they can. So the big one here has to do with the refunds, because obviously apart from pay-per-view, you could also get a ticket to actually watch it in person. So since the date has been pushed back and the venue has actually been moved to Los Angeles, I know very few people who would love to visit the mythical city of Los Angeles.
Once I moved to Los Angeles, that's when you know. That's the barometer for when someone has changed, okay? Rather be Amelia Earharted than move to Los Angeles. And for those of you who aren't in the loop about what that means, that's when a bunch of coconut crabs tear you apart limb from limb.
And understandably, a lot of people wanted to get a refund, but at the time, their refunds were denied. Now, this seemed like a pretty bad business model, especially if you wanted to like try to keep the respect of the community as well. But thankfully in the video, they do address this, and they actually say that we will actually be giving out full refunds.
With that comes a couple questions about ticket sales. A lot of people bought tickets for the Amelie Arena show. All those will be refunded. We will be updating you on when the new tickets will be on sale. If you bought pay-per-view tickets, those still stand. But if for whatever reason you would like a refund, they are offering that as well.
They even have on their website saying all in-person ticket holders will receive a full refund through Ticketmaster. PPV tickets will still be honored for the new date. If you prefer a refund instead, those will be made available for all PPV ticket holders. Should this have been done automatically? Yes, but apparently the tickets weren't regulated by them, but the third-party app Ticketmaster. Now, if you've used Ticketmaster before to purchase tickets for any kind of venue or game, I am so sorry. It is almost like if you got every single scalper together to create an app that tries to charge you out the arse with really unfair prices. And they might actually be one of the sole reasons why in the past 10 to 20 years, the prices for tickets have absolutely skyrocketed. This has actually gotten so bad, by the way, that the UK government has had to step in and actually do something for once and look into illegal and deceptive practices with Ticketmaster. Now, it could be the case that Ticketmaster was doing what it usually does and not letting people have their money back. And maybe the organizers behind Creator Clash didn't do anything wrong and it was just the evil company Ticketmaster. But again, we can't really be certain of that. And going through this video and on the website, Creator Clash haven't really made it clear that either way was the case. And also they talked about iDubbbz and his wife Anissa stepping down from the event. This is financially, creatively, completely letting control go of Creator Clash.
So yes, Ian and Anissa have stepped down completely. There's no creative involvement, there's no financial involvement, there's no ownership involvement. They completely gave their stake to us, including their financial stake they actually dispersed among the fighters, which is very cool of them to do.
And it looks like with them stepping down, they're handing it to an organizing company called Real Good Touring. Fundraising for the event was also discussed as well, because obviously Creator Clash 2 basically lost money overall. Specifically, the money that will be raised on Tiltify will actually go directly to charity, and all the money raised from ticket sales will go to supporting the event, which surprisingly wasn't how Creator Clash was originally run, but we will get to that later.
So going into Creator Clash 3, we've completely restructured it. So all of the onus is on us to pay for the event, to produce the event through our partners, through our sponsors, and we will be doing a traditional fundraising through Tiltify.
There was also some further clarification as well, talking about how creators were actually paid. Now, to be fair, paid is probably the wrong word here. I would say reimbursement. The money given to creators is basically to cover time off work, training funds, physiotherapy, and stuff related to the preparation of the event. Now, the one that's really interesting there to me is is like cover for time away where like you could be making videos. I'd like to imagine that they had Mr. Beast at Creator Clash and they somehow went completely bankrupt and negative $5 million day one. To be fair, actually, I could see an alternate universe where Mr. Beast actually funds the Creator Clash, but the only problem is you'd have a Feastables advert every 5 seconds. The money paid out was basically to cover the costs of everything and to make sure that they didn't have a massive hole in their pocket. Now, I can imagine a lot of people doing a counterclaim thinking, well, YouTubers are all like millionaires, so they could easily take like a couple months off work. And that's a very fair point, but okay, I can't think of a counterpoint there. I'll get back to you on that one. But this is the big one, the one that everyone has been talking about. They recently posted a transparency Q&A. Creator Clash disclosed information about how the fundraising works and the charities, how they receive the money. And this has got a lot of attention. They clarify again that the funds raised in the Creator Clash Tiltify account will go directly to the charity, which is a good change, I assume, to avoid a repeat of what happened last year. But the big one that's annoyed a lot of people is their clarification of, do the fighters get paid? Yes, each fighter receives a guaranteed purse to help cover training and preparation expenses. In addition, 20% of net profits from the event will be evenly split among all fighters. A further 34% profit share originally allocated to Ian and Anissa is also being redistributed among the fighters following their departure. And this got a lot of attention because Creator Clash was mostly known for watching your favorite e-celeb punch someone in the face or get punched in the face. But straight after that, it was always known as a charity event. But with iDubbbz, because he would have also been competing, he would have also got that 20% split amongst each boxer. Now, let me be devil's advocate here for a second. Let me make a statement that is going to get me labeled as a cuck sympathizer until the end of time. We can assume that a lot of money that goes into funding Creator Clash probably, hopefully, I'm really trying to give these guys an out here, iDubbbz and Anissa out of their own pockets. And by having them reimbursed, it basically allows them to continue to put on the Creator Clash event. I mean, it's all well and good that you have an event that's advertised, you know, for charity, but at the same time, there are all these other costs as well. Travel, hotels, training, physiotherapy, renting out a venue as well. And if they wanted to franchise Creator Clash and turn it into basically a yearly event, which looks like the angle they were going for, it just wouldn't be possible if they were basically losing money every single time. But one thing I definitely think they should be criticized for is the deceptive marketing. I genuinely think if iDubbbz and Anissa from the get-go were actually very open and transparent and vocal that they were financially profiting from this event, I don't think that many people would have had an issue with it. Now, don't get me wrong, iDubbbz has a lot of rentoids and they would have immediately called him out as soon as he mentioned even a whiff of making profit from this. But that would have been such a vocal minority compared to the situation that's kind of snowballed out of control now. And I think as well, because it's coming up to the third Creator Clash, and it's always been kind of labeled as a charity event as one of the big taglines, a lot of people feel blindsided by that. Now, I will say as well, at no point has Creator Clash ever said it was completely non-profit. So they do have that as an out, but at the same time as well, I just think from day one, if there was like more communication and more transparency, this would have had a lot less hate attached to it. But I think they've recognized that now and they're trying to rectify it, hence why there's been, you know, so many FAQs and Q&As posted recently. And of course, as you've probably heard, a couple people have actually already began to drop out of the Creator Clash. Like, for example, in late April, Harvey Morenstein from, as you know, Epic Mealtime, and also the principal in Video Game High School actually announced their withdrawal from the competition, with Harley at one point even citing Ian's close relation to Hassan Piker as a contributing factor. But then more recently this week, LABeast, another big YouTuber, actually dropped out, putting out a tweet saying, due to a laundry list of reasons that will be revealed to you shortly, I unfortunately will no longer be boxing in the Creator Clash event. It is the best decision for me and my team at this time. All I wanted to do was put on a show, get paid, and ultimately raise money for charity. Now, LABeast, that personally hurts me a lot because he is one of my favorite YouTubers growing up, because I remember watching his videos where, I mean, he's most infamous for basically buying a bottle of Pepsi, but this is no normal Pepsi. This is Crystal Pepsi, a limited edition clear Pepsi that was discontinued in like 1993. So like 6 years before I was even born. And you can imagine the consequences of drinking something that was discontinued nearly 30 years ago.
Hey, LABeast here. I bought a 20-year-old bottle.
But LA Beast even did a follow-up tweet saying, scared of the multiple red flags and irreversible damage it can do to one's branding by being associated with that event. And also Freddie Wong dropping out. If you're an old head, you will definitely know who he is. Competitive Guitar Hero player, creator of Rocket Jump, video game High School. Now, Freddie actually hasn't publicly commented anywhere I can find about why he left the event, but he has been removed from the matchups page. Now, apparently there was a leaked message from the Discord server where Freddie actually spoke, voicing his concerns. Illustrious fellow warriors and event handlers, I hope everyone's getting a good rest day in. In the wake of the new announcement video detailing the change in ownership structure of Creator Clash, or to be more accurate, the brief statement detailing changes in the ownership structure of Creator Clash, followed by 28 minutes of litigation of what I'll charitably call internet nonsense, there remains some lingering questions that I, as well as I suspect the other fighters, would appreciate clarity on. As I noted in my previous message, I would expect communication with the fighters to be at the absolute top of your priority list, as I don't believe any of us enjoy finding out about substantive developments via 15-second clips from muckraking Twitter accounts. What is the communication strategy and cadence we can expect from the organization moving forward, and how do we ensure the people signed up get punched in the head, receive information ahead of the general public? Ian noted in his video that I can't really have my cake and eat it too. You're either going to talk shit like a foul beast on the internet, or you're going to have a charity event. It really can't be both. Does this mean we can expect continuing back and forth post-separation? Well, I don't need all the minutiae of the separation agreement. Are there non-disparaging or broader agreements in place to protect content creators' reputation and public standing? What are the plans to proactively address the comment miasma that is, at least for me, desensitizes any social media communication, as I prefer to spend my time training and not slogging through the comment output of internet morons parroting the talking points of the streamer they have pledged allegiance to? How are we reasonably expected to promote this event? What are the plans and projected timetable with regards to finding replacements for the dropped fighters? And what is the strategy behind how they will be rolled out? On the outset of the event, the character of the individuals on the fight card was a major factor in my participation. What say do we, the fighters, have in this decision? What assurance do we have that whoever gets recruited doesn't bring more controversy and negative attention to the events? Do we plan on continuing to honor the commitment of the pay parity amongst the fighters? And does that restrict the organization's ability to feasibly find replacement fighters this close to the event? In other words, if we're paying everyone the same, do you think that amount is going to be enough to commit a fight-ready heavyweight and welterweight willing to withstand the crossfire by being in the midst of aforementioned internet nonsense? Moving forward, what are the plans and projected timetable to market and promote the event? Who is taking the lead on this? An individual within the organization? A PR agency? Can you provide an outline of the communications approach given the current situation we're in? What is the timetable for updating social media and the event website to more accurately reflect our current lineup? While I approach the desire to ensure all outward communications contain substantive information, I will also note that the longer everything is out of date, the more we invite further ridicule and the more chaotic this event seems. Having run my share of organizations at various scales, I can appreciate the complexities of internal versus external communications, cadence, and tone. However, I believe I speak for all of us when I say that the current strategy of the zero prior communications or heads up internally to the fighters is an unacceptable methodology moving forward. Providing dates for upcoming announcements without any information as to the content of those announcements isn't enough. Our current trajectory does not instill confidence, and I look forward to hearing about what substantive changes we plan to implement. Finally, I'd like to stress that I speak here for myself, but I encourage my other buff gladiators to chime in. I'm tired of stressing out about this stuff in the dark. Let's stress out about this stuff together. So Creator Clash now is in, from what I can see, a very awkward situation, because usually when one person drops out, this then creates a domino effect where more and more people might drop out. I'm not saying everyone's going to drop out. Of course they won't. But if those screenshots of what Freddie Wong was saying on that server are actually real, then yeah, this guy is obviously someone who was not confident in the event, and that's probably one of the reasons why he stepped down. But unfortunately as well, for Creator Clash, their brand has been tainted quite a lot in people's eyes. But the one thing I think everyone can agree on, whether you're an iDubbbz supporter or an iDubbbz hater, raising money for charity is definitely important, and that should be the forefront and focus of this.